Okay, we got our carpet pulled back. Forgot that we glued it down. Most of the pad stuck. Anyway, it's fine. It'll go right back to where it was and should be fine. Anyway, so we can do our trimming from the bottom now and not cut the carpet up. So as we try to raise the new tranny into place, we'll just kind of mark with a paint pen and start cutting. So we'll get this thing up in the air, get the old tranny jerked out, start getting the adapter put on. And hopefully the machine shop calls today and tells me that the flywheel's done. Well, we're almost ready to pull the trans down. We got converter bolts, bellows and bolts, and a mount. Everything else unhooked. Drive lines out, cooler lines are out, shifters out, starters out. Oh yeah, I guess we need to unhook the dipstick. Where the hell is that? What do we got? It's like welded to the... Oh, that's funny. When we welded the tunnel in, it must have like... That's funny. Okay. Well, that dipstick's... I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. I think this just comes out. Hey, look at that. Dipstick's out. Is he on the right? Yeah. I think that's a universal one. Anyway, get this thing dropped out, and then we'll go up in the loft and get the new tranny down, and we'll take a look at the size comparison. Starting to get a pile of parts. Dodge Auto for sale. Slightly used, never abused. It's got a Mag high-tech pan though, that's worth some money. $400 mean green starter. And $400 B&M Magnum Pro Stick shifter. All good parts we could sell. Jesse's over here working on getting the pan off. This is our custom pan. We cut like, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches out of the sump, and then we widened it to try to get some capacity back. But I'm actually going to change it up a little bit, because I notice when we go around hard corners, it can lose oil pressure for a second. So I'm going to drop the back an inch, drop the front about 2 inches. That should give us another gallon. And then we're gonna do some trap doors and stuff inside the pan to try to keep the oil held around the pickup tube. So anyway, got the adapter off. We'll get this pan off and get the pan mods done while the adapter's off, because it's just a lot easier to get to. Rear main looks good, that's cool. So flywheel should be done today or tomorrow at the machine shop, and we can start putting this baby together. Start cutting the tunnel out. Looks exciting. Have to go get a driveline, get the driveline redone. That kind of sucks, but anyway. Got our super low profile custom 12 valve pan out. We're gonna modify it and make it not so low profile. We had to pull 1 engine mount and get this thing up a little bit to clear the pickup tube. So anyway, we'll get that modified and get that back in, and then we'll start putting this tranny in. Exciting. Okay, oil pan. This is the old one. Well, the old configuration. Used to just have a flat bottom on here. I didn't want it to hang too low and get hit by anything, but now that the motor's in the car and it's been running and driving, and we've actually got a little more room, we can drop this thing down a little more for a little better capacity. I think it held 2 gallons before. Factory 5.9 Cummins holds 3 gallons. So we're gonna cut the rest of these sides off. We're gonna make a new box, and it's gonna be about 2 inches deeper. We're gonna try to get that extra gallon back. And then we got some piano hinge from our local big box store. We're actually going to build a baffle trapdoor system to try to keep the oil around the pickup. So we'll get this cut out. We'll get the rest of this cut off, and we'll try to make a oil pan. Not a bad corner. Little hammer and dolly. Okay. Okay, we've got a box. Now, if the box fits, that'll be another thing. Oh, my air hose that I hate. Clean off a little paint. Something like that. Normally I would round up all these 4 corners, but I think I'm gonna leave them open so that I can kind of adjust the corners a little bit if I need to. I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna help me or hurt me. I got some little magnets. Oh boy. I need to clean these off. Some hellacious gaps. I cut this thing off with a 4-inch grinder, so it's not terrible. This back corner we're obviously going to redo because we are, because this one and this one don't line up. Let's see. Okay, super fancy. Yep, leak checked it, had like 3 leaks, so we tacked all those in and should be good. Also, we checked the capacity. Believe it or not, this thing holds right at 5 gallons. 5 gallons right up to the edge here, so that's pretty cool. We'll probably go like 4.5. So that's pretty sweet. Feeling good about that. So we're going to do some internal baffling here. We'll go measure where our pickup actually sits. The other thing is we're going to have to lengthen our oil pickup. So we'll get going on that. Excited to get this thing back on the car today. Working on our little internal baffling system here. We're going to let oil come in, obviously, from all sides. Pickup's going to be right where that mark is, and then we're going to do these little piano hinge trap doors so that the oil can come in but not out. That's the theory anyway. Okay, trap doors are in. It's not very pretty because we don't really care. But we'll go, yeah, added a little stiffener there and there. We'll fill it up with water one more time, check for leaks. And if we don't need leaks, then we'll install it. Maybe paint it. Oil pan, check. Got her all painted up. Got a sweet drain. Leak checked it. It's good with water. Hopefully it'll hold hot oil. Hopefully the pickup clears. Oil pan installed. Those ones are super fun to get to. Now we can get to the fun stuff. Putting the A adapter and the trans in. Put a nice big drain. This hangs down a little bit lower than the cross member. I'll probably weld. The tail end of this will come up a lot when the tranny goes in, but because the motor's hanging. But I'll probably weld a little piece of angle iron or something on here, a little protector, so if we do hit something, it kind of glances off. So, oh, hello. Don't want to rip a hole in our new pan, that's for sure. Okay, adapter plate on, red Loctite. I think I put them at like 70 foot-pounds. I think stock says like 30 or 50, but that's going through the aluminum adapter, and this is steel. So, it, yeah, whatever. Time to get this all cleaned up and install our flywheel. The flywheel, oh god, had to get machined for this pilot bearing 6205 Timken. That fits the input shaft on the ZF. Flywheel, excuse me, flywheel installed. 100, 105 I think. Flywheel torque, bolt torque. Got some fancy ARP bolts. Okay, so I'm gonna wait on putting the clutch on. I'm gonna put the tranny up in here dry with no clutch. That way we can start trimming, and we're not trying to get the input shaft installed every time. So I guess next thing to do is get this guy up on the tranny jack and see what happens. All right, well, we started off with just cutting our old patch out that we did for the automatic, the 47 RE. So we got that old patch out of there. So that way we're not like adding floor from original to our old patch, and then this way we'll just make one new tunnel for the new trans, and we'll get rid of the old and original tunnel, if that makes sense. So we'll jack this baby up in there, and then we'll start marking where we need to cut. I think we're pretty good. I think we're gonna have to get some of these corners out of here, and then a little bit more, a little farther back. Other than that, we're looking pretty good. It's all gonna fit underneath all the heater and dash and all that stuff. So that's cool. Okay. We're gonna have to trim like a little farther back, and then we need to go up about 2 more inches, and we're up against the bottom of the tunnel, so we'll trim that up. We'll go about 2 inches, see where that gets us. Okay, we have a giant hole now. The clutch installed. It's actually not as terrible as I thought it was going to be. So this tranny's a little skinnier, so we'll actually be able to come in and then do our hump, or our tunnel. So anyway, I think we're going to put this on for the final time. A little wet in here. I don't have a new seal, but maybe we'll pop that cover off and see what we can do on an input seal. Okay, it's a new day. Got late last night, so we just jammed out this cross member so that we could get it down off the lift. So yeah, anyway, here's the old mount. Just cut some pieces of 2-inch angle. Nothing too crazy. I'll have to re-secure all these lines. Probably gonna put some weld washers on here. That's the old small, or like Turbo 400 style cross member, but we wanted to reuse it. Nothing wrong with it. So just got back from the driveline shop. We took them our rear yoke, got our measurement, having them put a heavy duty slip yoke inside it, I think 1.5 inches, something like that, for the torque. So anyway, today we'll get all these holes drilled, get that bolted in solid, get all our bell housing bolts in. We'll probably mount our trans cooler, because this one has like a pump, I believe. We'll get our starter mounted, start wiring the starter, and yeah, maybe go for a clutch pedal later. Let's see, I think we have a fitting for that. I don't know. Anyway, keep rolling here, keep knocking things off the list. What in the world? I'm trying to video over here. Got the starter in. I think it's a 6.4 starter. All the bell housing bolts are tight. I think the next thing we're going to go for is, well, we'll redo this battery cable, get that all hooked up. And then we'll go for a little, I think we'll use our old tranny cooler. I'll just mount it over here somewhere. And we'll go to the hydraulic store on the way to work today, get some adapter fittings, go to like 6 a.m. That should work for that. Okay, back down on the ground. Now we got to get our battery feed over to the other side now that the starter's over on the passenger side. So we'll have to undo this main feed to the harness. And that's our start signal wire. We'll get rid of all that wiring, and then we'll make a new one. And it'll have to shoot across the firewall somehow over to that starter. So I'll have to figure that out, how we want to run that. I really don't want to run it across the firewall because it's kind of clean now, but so maybe I'll run it with the other harness coming over to here. And then that's kind of a long way around though. We might just have to run it across the back, loom it up all pretty. Okay, so slave cylinder for the Ford comes as like an assembly, all sealed. So remove the line. You got to get one of these like slave cylinder adapters. I've had this one. I think I bought a 2-pack one time, so this is a spare. But anyway, that goes right in there like that, and then you just drive your little roll pin back in and that adapts you to a -3 AN. Okay, we've got our little roll pin drove in there. Feels like a good connection. So yeah, there's our pedal. Let's flip it around here. So here's our under dash pedal. So it's got the same 3 AN. I've got a line. It's probably going to be too short, but it came with the pedal. So anyway, that solves the whole clutch pedal issue. Cute little remote reservoir. Okay, car is off the lift. Transmission is installed. This is kind of what it looks like in the car. It's actually not as tall as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be obnoxious, like way, yeah. But I think once we build a trans tunnel, nice and tight to the tranny, that we can, or you know, that it won't look too bad. So maybe later on when we get a back seat and stuff in here, we can do a little flow through center console. So got our slave cylinder in there with our 3 AN stainless line adapted. So I think today we're gonna install this clutch pedal, and then we'll kind of get some of the sound deadening out of here and kind of get the interior prepped for the roll cage. So anyway, let's get going on this clutch pedal. Okay, clutch pedal mounted. I'm either not good at following instructions or I don't know. I figured it out though. They got a bunch of videos on their YouTube except for Try 5. But anyway, that's it up in there. Basically just you get a new rod that goes through your brake pedal pivot, and they give you some optional spacers and things, and then this bracket here goes to your column. Got to move a bunch of wiring around now, but anyway, that's it. Let's see if I can get a decent picture of this thing. So I think we're gonna run this feed line through the firewall, and we'll mount the little billet reservoir. We'll try to mount that on the firewall under the hood. That'll be a little easier to fill it and access it. Okay, oh wait, just came through the firewall right there. Pretty obvious that it needs to be higher than the clutch pedal, which is kind of hard to do because that clutch pedal is pretty far up under the dash. So I'm hoping that we got hood clearance here. But they came with a straight nipple. I put a 90 on it, so hopefully that works. It's a huge feed line. That's crazy. It could have been a little smaller, a little cleaner, but we are not building a show car, thank God. So next thing to do here is hook up the stainless line, which in my application is too short, so we're gonna have to figure out our routing and then go down to the hydraulic store and get one made.